Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, if I'm still allowed to say that these days. I'm going to show you how to use Noteflight in the fastest way possible, and I'm also going to take one of the pieces from this book. I'm going to write the tune in Noteflight so that you can see how we actually create a real piece in there. So let's go with it. Okay, so in this video what I'm going to do is show you how to jump in and get started with Noteflight. And the process I'm going to go through is we'll first of all create an account, sign in, and I'm going to show you how you create a score and you set the time signature, the key signature, and then we start to add notes. I'm going to show you how you alter the note durations, and we'll look at all the menus, some tricks with copy and paste, how we delete and add measures. Finally, from standard notation we can create a tab notation. Okay, so where we go to sign up for a new account is right in the middle, sign up free. And then what we have to do is to put an email address. So I'm just going to put an email address that I didn't use before. Then of course we go through this process of traffic lights. Let's see, there's a traffic light there, and there's one there. Okay, so it says I'm not a robot. Very good. So create account, and then you must consent to Noteflight's terms of use. All right, so we click on that one. Check your email to activate your account. I got my email here. It says welcome to Noteflight, activate account. So I just dismissed all the prompts that come up because I'm going to show you how we create a new score from scratch. And what you do is go over here to the create part, and it says start from a blank score sheet, or you can import something from another program. So we're starting from a blank score sheet. Now here what we have is the staff, and by default it gives us a staff for a piano. So Noteflight seems to assume that everybody's a piano player and they need the grand staff. We don't need that because we're guitar players and we just need a treble clef. So what I'm going to do is go over to the instruments, which are here where it says parts, and strangely enough it shows a picture of a guitar up there, and it's got a piano there. What I'm going to do is click on the plus below that, and we'll find a different instrument type. So what you have to do is go under plucked instruments, and we can say guitar, classical guitar, guitar tab. So I'm going to pick, in this case I'm going to pick guitar just for our purpose, and leave it in the key of C, and I'm going to say okay on that one. So what that's given us is the guitar part, but we still have this grand staff above. And what I'll do right now is go back to the parts. I'm going to go over here to the garbage can, and we click on that one, and that's goodbye piano. So the music piece that I'm going to do is called Study in C by Fernando Sor, and this is actually, okay, let me just click over here to get rid of this. By the way, if these menus pop up by and you don't have to get rid of them, go up to the three lines up there and just click on that. What we're going to do here is type some notes in here, and how you type notes is you click on that first, and then when you move your mouse up and down you'll see the dots appear, and the first note I want is a C, which is right there. So I'm going to click on that one, but actually that note that I want is supposed to be a half note. So on the top menu here you can click half note. I could click that just like that. And then the second note I'm going to put is also going to be a C, so I'm going to write that one there. But actually that note is supposed to be a quarter note. So I could go up on the top again and just click on that one, but there is another way to do this, and that is using the square brackets. So if I push the bracket in one direction, I guess that's okay. So actually what it does have a limitation because it cannot fit more than 4 notes into each bar because we've set 4 times. So it would actually go more than that if there was room to fit that in the bar. So I'm going to go to quarter note right there. And then what happened was this illustrates here that it's set now for quarter note. So the next note that I put in will be a quarter note. Now actually I did put the wrong note in there. I don't need another C. I'm supposed to have a B. So what I can do is just push down on the arrow, and that will give us a B. And then the next note I'm going to put in is a G. Now another way I can do that is just type in G. All right, so I type in G right there, and that's the note that I want. Then I can continue on, and I can put the next note's going to be the same. The measure is actually going to be the same as the measure I've just done, but I'm going to type in a C. All right, and I want to change that to a half note, so I push that square bracket, and then I need a B. All right, a B. I'm going to push the square bracket again to get my quarter note, and then I'm going to push a G, and that's the two measures. The next measure is going to be a C, so I'm going to type C. I'm just going to keep going C, D, and then it's an E and a G. That's our G right there. Okay, I'm going to continue on to the next measure. So you just keep on typing, and I'm going to put F, E, D, and G. Aha. Now what happened here is that's not the G that I want. I actually want to have a G down there. So here's another little trick, that you can push the control key and push the arrow key, and it goes down an octave. So now what I want to put in this measure is actually the same as that measure. So if I clicked on that measure, what I can do is I can use the standard copy commands that we use for other Windows programs, Control and C, and it will be Command C on a Mac, and then I would go over here to this measure, and I would go Control V, or it will be Command V on a Mac. Now what I want to do is to add another measure, and you notice over here that there's actually two bar lines, which means you've reached the end of the piece. If you push the arrow keys left and right, you can go back and forward, but you can't go beyond that ending bar. So what you have to do is go up on above here where you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 measures there, and you see some symbols here where you can go minus or plus. So if I hit the minus, I would actually remove that bar. So I'm going to hit the plus, and that adds us another bar. All right, so if you click again, if I want to add more measures there, I could just do the same thing. So now what I'm going to do is, if I click this measure here, and I'm just going to hit the copy and put that one in there, but then what I want to do is alter that one a little bit. So I'm kind of cheating, so I don't have to type those notes in, just for illustration purposes here. So I'm going to move that one up, I'm going to go over, move that one down, and I'm going to move that one down there. So that can be useful, especially if you have some kind of complex series of notes that you want to do. And then the note after that will be an A, and then a C, and then I need an E. So the E I want is supposed to be down below, so I'm going to hit the control key together with the down arrow. And then the next note I need is actually an F sharp, so I'm going to put F. Oops, so F is supposed to go up, so I'm going to hit the control key and up like that, and you can assume also that's going to be command and the up arrow key on a Mac. Now what I want there is a sharp, so you can go over here and hit that sharp like that, and it will add the sharp to that note. Okay, I'm going to continue on to a G, and now the next note is going to be a chord. So when you want to type a chord, perhaps an easy way would be just to click on the notes that you want. I need a B, and I need a G, and I'm going to click on that one first. I need a G. So you just have to make sure the cursor is on that particular note, and you can do 3 notes just like that. So I'm going to show you another way right now, and before I do that, one way to just back up is to hit the backspace. So I'm going to backspace. All right, so now I'm at the rest. So I'm going to type in the first note. The first note is a B. All right, that's the wrong octave, so I'm going to go control down. All right, that's my B. And then what I want to do is add 2 notes to that a G and a D. So the G, I'm going to, instead of just hitting the G by itself, which will give me a note in the next to it, I want to push down the shift key and put that note right there like that. So that's a G, and then there's a D following that one. So that's how you can type in chords like that. Now the next note I need is a G, so I'm going to type in G and go down 1 octave because the note is supposed to be down there. All right, so that's the first part of this piece that I want to write. What happens is with this piece, it has at the end right here, it has a repeat sign. So a repeat sign is 2 dots. What we do to get those 2 dots is, well, let's see, I don't have the menus up here, so let me show you now where the menus are. If you click on these 3 lines, we have a whole bunch of different things. I'm going to get rid of this thing. Okay, so these are the things that you can use to alter your music on the screen. So what I want to find out is where the repeats are. So repeats. Now I can go in here and select this, which is a forward repeat and the end repeat. Another way I can do is I can click on that repeat, and actually it'll put those menus up on this top bar over here. So you can decide whichever of these menus you want to have up here. So if you want to keep that repeat there, you find that to be handy, then you can just keep that on the top there. So we're in this measure right now, so I'm going to say click on that one, and that puts us a repeat. So that means it's going to go back to the beginning and play this through twice. Now, one thing you want to be aware of with Noteflight is you have to save your stuff. A lot of online programs, they automatically save. It didn't used to be the case that Noteflight saved itself, so I don't think it does, because this save button is actually highlighted. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to click the save, and then you see that it gets grayed out. All right, but I'm also going to put a title in this because this is called Study in C, and the composer is Fernando Sor. Okay, so that's our piece. I'm going to hit the save one more time. So that's how you write a piece. Now what I'm going to show you is things that I haven't showed you yet. I'm going to add another measure. So I'm going to go, we're clicked in this one, we've got this bar up here. Click on that one, say plus. Let's say I wanted to put these 1, 2, 3 measures and copy those. So I hold down the shift key. That's highlighted this. So this is just like a word processor. And I'm going to say Control C. All right, so Control C for copy, and then where I want to put that, Control V to paste. All right, now another thing you can do with this, I'm going to hit the backspace. So that's got rid of that. Now let's say I want to copy this whole thing, and I want to copy it again in the measures to follow. If I hit R like that, R means repeat. So it's going to copy that whole thing that I highlighted, and now we have a second copy of it. Now let's say that I want to add some measures before and after another measure. Let's see how this works here. This is something we didn't quite do. We've added measures on the end. If I want to add a measure in between something, you can do it just like that, and then you would fill out this measure with the whatever notes you want to put in there. And of course you can do this on either side. You just hit that plus key, and there you have a measure on each side of that measure that we started with. So now let me just see if we can illustrate what happens if you don't hit the save button. Now that I've added some extra notes in here that I don't really need, what I'm going to do is go over, if you click on the big O there, and then if you go to My Scores, what it's going to show, it says changes you made may not be saved. So actually they did put something in this software since I last did a tutorial on this. So I'm going to say leave and see what happens. So I've got my study in C right there. I click on it. You've made changes to the score at 1047 that didn't get saved to the cloud. Save changes. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say delete changes. So now I'm actually back to what I had before. So actually they did do something. That's very nice actually. I'm glad they fixed that problem, because in the past I've lost work on this system. Now one other little trick that I did want to show you was how you add sharps and flats without clicking on the menu. You can go up here and click on the sharp and the flat there, which we did before. Add the sharp, or add the flat, or add the natural symbol. If you click it twice, then it gets rid of the natural symbol. One handy thing to know is that when you hover over these symbols, you get the keyboard shortcut. So if you hover over the sharp symbol, it gives you a plus sign. If you hover over the flat symbol, it gives you a minus. And if you hover over the natural symbol, it shows you the equal sign. All right, so what you would do, we got this highlighted here. If I hit the plus symbol, the plus, you need to do a shift. That will give you the sharp. And if I hit the minus key just by itself, that gives the flat. If I want to make that natural, then it would be just the key by itself. And if you hit it one more time, then it gets rid of that natural symbol. So that's how you use the sharps and flats. Actually, one more thing I should show you is the tempo. Tempo is set right there for 120. You'll see that. And you see an indication over here, so you can go up and down with that. So if I were to go, say, for 100, you could just click with the mouse, or you could type it in, which would probably be a little bit easier. All right, so if I hit the play button now over here, this is how it sounds. Now it's going to do the repeat. Actually, what I did realize here is that I've put I didn't have the cursor in the right place when I changed the tempo. So we got two tempos there, and it should stop right there. But anyway, that's probably a good thing that happened, because if I hit the delete key on that one, then this will be the tempo for the whole thing over here. I've actually just shown you something that you can do here. You can change the tempo in different places throughout the piece. So now that we've actually got a piece of music in here, what I'd like to show you is how we can create another part below it, a tab part. And what you do is you go up to parts over here, click on that, click on plus to add a part, and then we go again into pluck strings. We did this once before, and here we can select guitar tab, or you can select classical guitar tab. I think the only difference there is what it's going to call it in the music, and possibly the MIDI guitar that it's going to select. So I'm just going to select guitar and click OK. So there we have our tab. That's empty right now, so you could go up and down and put your numbers in there. Or here's a little trick. If I select that measure, I'm going to hold down the shift key, select the whole piece, and then I'm going to say Control C for copy, pick this measure here, and then I'm going to go Control V to paste. And there you have your tab. And it's done a pretty good job. I guess it selects the notes which are in, the closest to the open position. So this, you'll find, is exactly what you want. There's nothing that you want to change. If you were doing some other more complex piece of music, perhaps you'd need to make some adjustments. But it's for this piece, it's done an excellent job. So there you have tab. Now, what tab doesn't do is show you the timing. So you have articulations, dynamics, other kinds of things like that tab does not do a good job of. All right, so I hope you found that useful. Noteflight is a good software. It has some pluses and it has some minuses. It's a great teaching tool. It's good for schools. It's not the best software in the world for guitar. One of the key downsides of this software is it's only got two voices. If you play any kind of complex guitar style, you know, whether it's classical or jazz or some acoustic guitar, then you need more than two voices. And that's an unfortunate limitation that it's got, and it's had for years. You know, you would think that they would realize this and get on it, because it's owned by Hal Leonard. So it's not like they don't have good backing for the software development, but I guess they have other priorities, unfortunately. So I can't really recommend it as the best guitar software, but the good thing is that it's online and you can access it anywhere. So that's a plus for me. I hope you did find that useful, and as always, stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Talking.